I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
Today we're going to be talking about signs your ex still has feelings for you. Well, when you're going through a breakup, it feels like there's zero signs.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah, you're shocked and yeah.
Because a lot of times your ex is not acting like they care about you at all. Often they're just ice cold and for long periods of time. And so it can feel like it's never going to turn around, but that's actually not the case.
No, it's not.
A lot of times, if you are patient and you really give them time and space, they do miss you, they do reflect on things, and they do reconsider things and reach out, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But, especially in the beginning, they're not going to show a lot of these signs because at that point they feel like they really are done with things. They really feel like this isn't going to turn around, it's not working, I'm not happy, for whatever reason it might be. And so they're not going to show any signs right then and there. It takes them some time before they really have time away from you and you've left them alone for a while, right? You can't bombard them.
Oh no, if you do, yeah.
That only makes them colder and less likely to show you any signs. But oftentimes, if you give them some time, they will show you some. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about some of those today. Okay, so the first one that I wanted to bring up is that they keep in contact with you. This is a big one, right?
This is the biggest one. Right, you can't measure anything unless you have that.
Yeah. I mean, and so if you haven't heard from your ex in months and you haven't had any contact with them, you're like, oh, geez, I haven't heard from them, so they must not care about me. Mm-hmm. Well, just because you haven't heard from them yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
And people say it's 3 weeks, like that was the
Yeah.
outside possible length of time that would determine.
And I know what that feels like because I know when you're in those early stages, days feel like weeks. Mm-hmm. They really do. It feels like an eternity.
And at 3 a.m. they feel like years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as time goes by, they're going to be more likely to reach out and reflect on things and the mistakes that they've made and missing you and stuff like that. But, it's scary for them to reach out. And a lot of people don't understand this, that when, your ex is afraid of rejection.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah. They think, oh, well, they broke up with me. Why would they be afraid of rejection? Well, because now you could turn the tables and reject them if they reach out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's big. So what do? What do we see all the time, Margaret? The indirect direct.
The indirect direct. Oh, I think I might have your gray sweatshirt.
Or have you seen my yellow gym bag?
Or I still have your keys.
Mm-hmm. Your ex will look for excuses to contact you, is what we're trying to get at. They're making a small bid to connect with you. And that is about as much as they're willing to risk on the rejection side, even though they were the one that broke up with you. Okay? So they're not likely to say, I miss you. I don't see that happen very often. Do you?
No.
Do you?
Not particularly.
Yeah. That's a big jump in the pool. Mm-hmm. As most people want to just put a little toe in the pool with a have you seen my green socks or whatever silly thing that it is. It's for some reason it's always the cat. I cannot even tell you how often I really hear about the cat. So they're looking for excuses to reach out, and that's a big one if they're reaching out to you. Now, obviously, even bigger than that is if they're spending any time with you in person, right? That's huge.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's willing to spend that time with you, they're going to be a lot more likely to be vulnerable with you or intimate with you and, really reconsider things.
Right.
So if your ex is doing anything to spend that time with you, and there's any intimacy going on, that's a big sign that they're reconsidering things.
Yeah, they could be spending that time moving on. They could be spending that time with friends, with family, and they are intentionally choosing to spend that time with you.
Yeah.
Where it can be a little misleading is if they are asking for friendship and also trying to move on at the same time.
I was
It
just
could
going
be
to
quite
say, and this is
ambiguous.
exactly the point where can't we just be friends comes up. Yep.
Yeah, so you got to be careful of that. And also you want to be careful of just being used for sex. Like if you want to be used for sex, then have at it, right?
Yeah, go for it.
But if you're feeling hurt or vulnerable or used and you don't like it, then don't do it.
Right.
So it's up to you. But obviously, a big sign that your ex has feelings for you is that they're spending time with you or they're reaching out to you.
Right, and you've spent a decent amount of time with this person, enough to have a significant relationship with them. You can probably tell in your interactions if you are getting those romantic gestures, the romantic setting.
Yes, you know this person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the second one. This is a big one too. Now, a lot of times when you're going through the breakup, you hardly get any information. You're looking at social media, you're getting little crumbs here and there in your investigation of what's going on in their life, right? But here's the interesting thing. A lot of times when your ex is interested in you again, they will just start telling you everything. There's no longer any wall or barrier there, and they will just tell you everything they've been doing, everything they've been going. It's just unbelievable, and as you're in shock because you're like, wait, I haven't heard anything in months.
In months,
Right.
and now you're telling me exactly what's happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll be like, I've been thinking about you every day. I've been wanting to see you. I've been looking at you. And sometimes they'll even admit, I drove past your house. I went by your work. I was asking your grandmother about you. And so it's always shocking, but believe it or not, a lot of times an ex will start to tell you all kinds of information about their life again. And that's a big sign that they're interested.
And hoping that you are still.
And that makes a lot of sense to me too, because if you're separated from this person who was your, not only your partner, but your friend and somebody you confide in and tell those things to, spending that long period apart, you probably feel like all of that information has nowhere to go. To your friends, they might be tired of hearing it, and or they might shame you for not just moving on. So it makes sense that you would want to overpour all of your experiences of what it's been like to be without that person
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah, but it's really interesting when it happens because you feel like you're getting all this top secret intel.
Right,
from them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And because you've been like getting little things here and there, but now they're just telling you everything. It's like, wow, how did this happen?
And it's also an instant mood booster.
Oh, yes.
From feeling
absolutely.
depressed
Yeah,
to
right.
feeling on top of the world in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So look for your ex to start telling you a lot of things that you wouldn't expect to hear that they would have been private about before.
Right.
Okay, number 3. They are curious about your life.
Oh, yes, they are.
And what's the big thing they want to know?
The big thing is, have you met anybody else?
Yeah. And a lot of times they're going to ask, and this is what I see a lot. They'll say, well, I just want to know because I care about you. No.
No.
No. They want to know if you're dating somebody else and if you're interested in somebody else. And they're going to disguise it at first, right? Like at first it'll ask little things like, so what have you been up to? How are things? How is work? How's your dog? How's the goldfish? Things like that.
Yeah.
They're going to be looking at your social media. And sometimes they'll slip up and make comments about your social media. Oh, I saw you were at the concert the other day. And then they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
And you'll catch them, and they don't even realize it because they're so excited to talk to you that they slip up and let all this stuff out.
Right.
But yeah, ultimately, they're keeping tabs on you. They may be looking at your stories. They may, a lot of times they'll create a fake account, just like you're probably doing, right? Creating a fake account to look at your stories, look at your stuff, get information, and they'll tell you stuff. Like, so it's kind of a combination of they want to know what's going on with you, and they're revealing what's going on with them, and that creates a connection again.
Yeah.
You know, so those are big signs that they're interested.
It's an indirect way of making a connection, but
Yeah.
it's a connection nonetheless.
But it's a connection nonetheless.
But those are things that they'll do when they still have feelings for you. Okay, number 4. This is pretty common. They still leave a lot of stuff up on social media. Facebook pictures, Instagram pictures. Sometimes they won't even change the relationship status, which can be really confusing.
That
It
is
would be really
confusing.
telling too,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Sometimes you'll be like, we broke up 3 weeks ago and it still says we're in a relationship. What do you think that is, Margaret?
I think it's a wish to hold on, actually.
Yeah.
Because this is no simple decision.
Right. And it's also a public medium. So
Yeah.
once they admit on there that they're single, then there's almost something official about it.
Yep.
Along with taking off the pictures from social media.
Right.
Yep. And then a lot of people are going to ask them questions. What
Right.
happened with you and so? You guys are broken up, and then people are going to start, hitting on them, which they may not be ready for.
Right.
So it could be hard for them to let you go. All right. The next one that I have is that they are still emotionally charged with you and how things went. They're still upset about things. They're still frustrated with the
Yeah.
way things went. They're not kind of like, oh, it doesn't matter, I'm done, I'm over it. There's a big difference when somebody's like, I can't believe you did this and you still do that. That emotional charge shows that they still care.
Right.
I think deep down, right?
Oh, yeah. Sure. It's not simple, black and white, easy, yes or no. Not at all.
I think people kind of have a different affect when they're truly done and over things. And, they're just kind of like, they're tired. They feel like it's not going to change. When they're still so emotional about it, it's like they're wanting things to be different and they're upset about it. It's really got them, thinking about things.
Like I didn't want it to end this way. Yeah.
Okay. And the last one that I have is that, do they do anything to make that connection with you through other people? Friends, family is a big one. They contact your friends in the family. That's a big sign, right? If they have the courage to reach out to your friends and family,
Yeah.
I have enough courage to do that, but I'm still too scared to reach out to
Reach
you.
out to you.
And another one is that they often will go places you will go. Now, how do I know they do that? Well, because I see them do it, and I see you guys do that. The gym is a big one.
Yep.
I see a lot of people that have been broken up with, they purposely go to the gym when you know their ex is there. And you're probably doing it, you watching right now. Because it's true. I mean, they admit it to me all the time.
Yep.
Oh, I go in the mornings, and they keep going in the mornings. I know they're going to be there in the mornings. And I'm like, yeah, but you're too obvious. You're too obvious that you're going because you know they're going to be there.
Right.
Well, if you do that, your ex is going to do those same things. So if you see your ex going places that you go, I remember a couple of years ago we had a guy that was, or a woman that was showing up at the guy's bar that he used to go to all
Oh,
the time.
absolutely.
You remember that one?
Yes, indeed.
And so she kept going to this tiny little bar that she had never gone to before they started dating, and now she goes there and he's like, what is going on here? This is my bar. She knows that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sign that she still has feelings. And so look for your ex to show up places that you go at times that they suspect you're going to go, or contacting friends and family is another one.
And remember that all of these things can fluctuate. So you might not see these signs in the very beginning. They still might be in that relief stage of, oh wow, this breakup has finally happened. I'm finally able to spend time elsewhere. But eventually, as the process continues, those feelings might creep up, or you might see the opposite. Maybe they are highly emotional right after the breakup and still haven't fully committed to that decision and are still ambiguous. And maybe that's where they're most emotionally closer to the surface, if you will.
Yeah. But, just because you're not getting these signs right away, it doesn't mean that they don't care about you or that they won't come back.
But it's 3 weeks.
I know. A whole 3 weeks. The worst 3 weeks ever.
Yeah.
Trust us. We see exes come back all the time after months. And we really believe that giving them time and space to process things, meanwhile you doing the work, is giving you the best opportunity to turn things around. And of course, we know how confusing it is. It is so confusing, right? People get
Absolutely.
so confused about such little
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I saw a guy today who was so confused about little things here and there, and he couldn't even think straight, and he did a lot of things the opposite of our first coaching. I'm like, what are you doing? And he was just a mess.
Yeah.
Right? So we understand that it's confusing, and that's why we're here. And so if you do want to get a coaching with us, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret is available for Skype
If
coaching.
you feel that I can be helpful, please sign up.
And of course, Coach Victoria is coaching with us now too.
I look forward to speaking with you.
Just click on Victoria on the top of the website to do that. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth,
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
and we will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.